Hello, viewers. I have a topic we want to discuss this evening with you, the audience. We Africans, especially those who are living in Europe here, in Germany, in Italy, in France. What is happening to Africans, especially in Germany, the kind of maltreatment the Africans are receiving from the German government? It is high time the African heads of states bring it as an agenda into their meetings, African Union. Because there was this incident that happened recently in Germany where a Gambian national was deported back to Gambia without pre-notice. The story had it that this man went to work and come back from work. He got a letter that police were inviting him at the police station, which he went without having any fear of anything. He went to the police, and from there, they hold him hostage. They detain him and told him that he is going back to Gambia that Sunday. And he was deported en route Turkey to Gambia. But the most painful thing there is that there is an iron they put in this guy's mouth that make him to be bleeding. All the journey from Germany to Gambia, that iron thing, a mouth guard, is in his mouth. This guy suffering a lot of pain. But my main concern that make me to make this video is I have a question for the authorities in Gambia, in Banjul, their president. Why will they admit and accept their citizen, their national, who were deported from another country with the blood and with that kind of treatment and handcuff in his body, and they admit and take that person home? There is more to this. Which the investigation is going on to able to find out exactly what is happening. If the government did not have any form of agreement with the German government, this kind of thing will not happen. If they didn't have an agreement and this kind of thing happens and they accept it, it means that they are taking themselves to be an inferior. There is no inferiority as long as this world is concerned. Gambia, you are a country. Germany is a country. Gambia, you have a president. Germany have a chancellor or a president decent level. You govern in your country, they govern in their country. You make your own law, they make their own law. There's a treaty that was signed. You can have freedom to live in any part of the world you wanted to live as long as you have your stay to live in that country. Even if you didn't have a stay, you can take an asylum. You can take an, whatever legal means you are going to apply to be able to live in that land. But African countries allowing their national to be humiliated, to disgrace from other countries and deported back to their own motherland in a humiliating form is what we, the youth of Africans, are clamoring and said, no, this ill-treatment need to stop. They need to stop it. Government need to speak on it. We need to take it as a priority. And that is why African youth are clamoring for youth to be in the helms of affairs in Africa. Youth who have know what it means, who have know what it takes to leave the shore of your country, to settle in another man's land, and to be an immigrant or to be a refugee. These old people in authority did not know what Africans are passing through. There's a lot of things that is happening to African citizens abroad. And the government or the embassies are not helping matter. How will you admit such a person in your country with blood and with that kind of iron in the mouth if the government didn't support it? And what is the crime of that man? What did he committed that makes the German government to humiliate him? Youth of Africa, this is the time for our voice to be heard. This is the time for us to speak up. This is the time for us to stand on our right. This is the time for us to speak, because there is what is called human rights. Where is the human right? Where is the equity and fairness? Where is the justice? Even if this man committed an offense, he needs to be tried in a court, in a competent court, in a court that have judiciary, what they call it, jurisdiction, so they can decide the fate of that person. If you don't grant him maybe a refugee status, you quietly ask him, maybe there's a procedure he need to follow. If all things fail, with all due respect, you pay him compensation and send him back home. You can just send him back home empty-handed. He left Africa to come here to look for greener pasture. You don't just send him home like that without notifying him, without him being get prepared. He didn't commit any offense. He didn't commit any crime. You send him with humiliation method. It's not a good thing. So I am calling on the president of Gambia for them to look into this matter seriously, because if you allow this thing to continue like this, it's going to continue, and it is not going to augur well with Africans. Based on the fight, the African youth are now clamoring and fighting for total independence from our slave masters, from our colonial masters. We want to be free. Africans want to be free, and we want to get that freedom. We don't want any interference. If the Western does not want Africans again in their own land, it is simple. Make it very clear. We don't want you people in our own land again. Go back to your country, because I am blaming our government who are causing all this problem that is making Africans to be moving from one place to another, suffering from one condition to another, and the government is not talking or saying anything about it. How will you play a second fiddle? How will you take a European citizen be treated like that in Africa, or deported from Africa to Europe under such condition? Who will take it in this Western world? Nobody will take it. By the fact that you people admitted and take your national under that condition, it shows that you people are not competent enough. They didn't regard you as a country. They didn't regard you as anybody. They didn't regard your president as a president. They didn't regard the immigration as anything. What you need to do at the airport to you stop it, you must take this person back to where you're coming from. This is not our national. Even if it's our national, he did not come to your country under this condition. Why are you bringing him back to his motherland with this kind of condition? What did he do? But I did not blame the German authority. The people that I blame is the authority from Banjul. So African leaders, look into this matter critically. Protect the interests of your citizens. Protect the interests of your flag. Protect the interests of your nation. Put your nation first before every other thing. Put your citizens first before every other thing. Because that is the reason why you are being voted, or why you force yourself to be on that seat. Because if you are voted democratically, the same people who voted you will also come out and ask you that we don't want you again to rule us, because you are subjecting the citizen to undue hardship. So you need to resign. We need to get our acts together and work together as an African in unity, in love, so we can protect ourselves anywhere that we are living. We have passed through a lot, from slavery to other kind of bad government. We African youth, we don't want it any longer. We want change and freedom to all Africans. African in united we stand, and we will win this war. God bless you all.